Howdy and welcome everyone to our Poop Tip Tuesday. We have a great live session today. We'll talk about what does black stools mean. We'll talk about what you can do to keep clean if you have hemorrhoids. We'll talk about my review and thoughts about the Paleo Diet. I know everyone asked me about this and what my concerns are and what I think about this particular diet. We will talk about what happens whenever you need to go to the restroom. Do you need to go as soon as you feel the urge? And we will also talk about any questions you guys may have as well. So guys, don't forget, let us talk about poop. Hey guys, my name is Dr. Samir Islam. My passion is to give you tips and tricks to help out with your gut health. I grew up in a small town called Odessa, Texas. You may have known that from the movie Friday Night Lights or even the TV show. I did my undergrad at the University of Texas at Austin, go Longhorns, and I did my GI fellowship training at the Mayo Clinic. So guys, let's talk about poop. Alright, so if you're joining me for the first time, my name is Dr. Islam, and yes, I'm an actual poop doctor. Yes, I am. I love poop. My passion is to give you tips and tricks to help out with your health. A couple things, just housekeeping things. Number one, if you haven't already, don't forget to like that button, like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, we can get great tips and tricks every single week. Click down below. I'll put a link down below once I'm done with this video so you can subscribe to that newsletter. And also let me know if you're watching this live or on the replay and where you are watching this from. We have a great show tonight. I am excited to be on. I have a lot of great questions I got from you guys. And if you want me to answer one of your questions live, subscribe to a weekly newsletter, get on the email list, send me a message, and I can see if I can answer your questions. Also, too, let me know on the live chat as well if there's any questions you guys may have. So question number one, hey, Dr. Islam, what does black stools mean? Great question. I am glad that I have somebody who's asking this question. So black stools are typically never a normal thing to have. Now, dark brown stools, not a big deal. Dark green stools, not a big deal. Brown stools, no matter what shade, I don't care. As long as it's brown, I don't frown. But black stools, completely different scenario. Couple of things that can cause it. Number one, if you take iron pills or iron supplements, that can cause black stools to occur. Number two, if you take Pepto-Bismol, that Pepto-Bismol can turn your stools black as well. Not a big deal. But if it's black and tarry, smells very, very weird, there is a concern you could be bleeding somewhere in your upper GI tract or even in parts of your colon. That is something that should not be ignored at all. And that is something that we need to do further investigation on. And that's something we need to find out exactly why you are bleeding, especially if that is coupled with pain up here in the upper abdomen, or if you're having a change in your bowel habits. We need to take a look to find out exactly what's going on. And for some people, we actually may have to take a look with a scope, either a scope through the mouth or a scope from the bottom to find exactly what is causing the bleeding. And more importantly, what we can do to get that taken care of. So please, 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 if you're having black stools and you don't take iron and you don't take Pepto-Bismol, come see somebody like me to find out exactly what is going on. Taz, it is great seeing you from Orlando. Carol, it's great seeing you from Lubbock as well. And Pamela, great seeing you from SoCal. SoCal in the house. I love it. All right. So question number two, Dr. Islam, what are some hygiene tips I recommend for somebody who has hemorrhoid issues? Let me know in the comments down below if you know somebody who's been having these issues like that, or maybe it could be you as well. So hemorrhoids are a very common problem that a lot of people have. For some people, it can cause pain, bleeding, itching, and pressure. And hemorrhoids typically come from just dilated veins in your rectum, in your bottom. And that can occur if you push really hard, you strain really hard, you're having very difficult bowel movements, you lift heavy things, maybe you squat heavy weight. You can do these things that can put more and more pressure on your bottom and cause hemorrhoids to occur. They are literally a pain in the bottom. So what can you do to kind of keep up the hygiene when you have hemorrhoid issues? Well, number one, don't sit on the toilet for a long time. Too many people, so many people I see reading magazines, when they're on the toilet, or I hear about it. They're on their iPhone or Android, just clicking through, going through social media. They just sit there for a long time, not doing anything. One tip, don't sit on your toilet for a long time. Spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes at most, and if you're not using the restroom, get up and get on out of there. Tip number 2 is that you also want to use the bathroom when you feel the urge to go. I will talk about this in another video, but if you feel the urge to go immediately to use the restroom. Don't hold it in, because that can make hemorrhoid issues worse. Number 3, add fiber to your diet, whether it's fiber via vegetables. The more vegetables you can have in your diet, the more fiber you can have, the better poop you're going to have. And we all like a great poop. Or if you want to add extra fiber, whether it's something like Metamucil, or maybe something like Metamucil or Citrusel, maybe you can also add a stool softener as well, or even something like Miralax to help you use the restroom. Also consider using a Squatty Potty or something like that. I have a video on my YouTube page about some of the things in terms of my review of a Squatty Potty. It works. It's fantastic. It's a very effective option. And then lastly, the thing I recommend, the thing I love and I use, a bidet. Yes, a bidet. Bidets are fantastic. They keep you clean. They work. They're a very effective option to keep your bottom taken care of. You don't have to worry about hemorrhoid issues, and you can keep that hygiene up there. That's what I recommend as well. Lynn, it's great seeing you from Cape Cod. It's good seeing you. Angela, it's great seeing you from Shallow Water. And Julie, it's good seeing you from Cincinnati. Thank you guys for watching on the live channel. All right, so Saeed, you have a very good question. I'll talk about this. Hey, Dr. Islam, despite taking lots of fiber, my poop is still constipated. Please advise. A very good question. So let me know in the comments if you know somebody who's had this issue. You take a lot of fiber and things are still not going through, or you're having issues using the restroom. Let me know in the comments. So what is going on? So for a lot of our patients who do not respond to over-the-counter treatments like fiber or laxatives, something like Miralax, there's 2 main issues that we think is going on. Number 1 is that you could have a condition called irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS. Now, IBS is a real disease. It's not in your head. You're not going crazy, I promise you. And there's a lot of people who suffer from IBS. And there are a couple of different types. And if you're not using the restroom, you suffer from IBS-C, constipation predominant. A lot of different reasons why people could be having IBS. It could be stress. What's going on here will manifest inside the gut. It could be a change in your gut microbiome. We know that there is a predominance of bad bacteria and people have IBS, and a decrease in good bacteria as well. Maybe your colon doesn't want to contract as effectively. Maybe you don't have enough water. Irregardless, we do have medical options to treat patients when it comes to IBS that work very, very well, help out with constipation, and help out with pain. The second reason is that you may have a condition called pelvic floor dysfunction. That is literally anally retentive. Your rectum is so tight, nothing wants to pass through. And you can try everything that you can, but if you have that closed hole, nothing's going to pass. It's like having a toothpaste with the cap on. No matter how much I squeeze, nothing is going to come out. And the treatment for that is very different for the treatment for IBS because the muscles involved. And like whenever I hurt my shoulder, whenever I work out, I go through physical therapy. The exact same thing when it comes to that pelvic floor problem. We may have to have you see a physical therapist. So this is a very common reason why fiber and laxatives do not work. Great question on the live channel. All right, question number 3 I got. Hey, Dr. Islam, gluten, is that really a problem? So let me know in the comments if you know or have heard about issues with gluten. I've seen this everywhere when it comes to health, gut health, brain health, I don't know, overall health. Gluten seems to be the boogeyman for a lot of people from what they're wondering what could be causing some of their gut issues. And so I'm curious to know if you've heard about this in the comments. So let's get down to the science because I'm going to give you the truth about what you need to know about gluten. Now, number 1, there's nothing inherently wrong that we can find when it comes to gluten. There's no obvious causes of particular conditions. If you are a healthy person, if you don't have any gut issues, if you don't have celiac disease, you can certainly ingest gluten. It's not going to cause any long-term problems, nor is it inherently bad. Now let's get that out of the way. Number 2, there are plenty of patients who have either gluten sensitivity or a condition called celiac disease. Two different problems. So gluten sensitivity is whenever you are actually sensitive to certain foods that are in gluten-rich foods that can cause bloating, distension, itchiness, maybe brain fog. You don't feel very good. You have joint pain. There is no real way to test this. In fact, if you're trying to get a food allergy testing for gluten, you are wasting your money because we have no standardized test that's been approved by anybody that can reliably show that you have a gluten intolerance. The best way to know is that you ingest gluten, you feel bad, you take it away, you feel better. That is the test. That's what you need to know. Now, this is very different from celiac disease number 2. Celiac disease is an actual autoimmune disease in which your body attacks itself to get rid of some of those villi that are in your small intestine. Your small intestine is basically an organ that is used to absorb items. And whenever you ingest gluten, if you have celiac, you lose that capability. You present in the same way as gluten sensitivity: bloating, pain, upset stomach, digestion issues, brain fog, joint pain. But there are blood tests that we can do to check for celiac, and there are endoscopic features that we can see with the scope that allows us to see if you have celiac. So, in summary, gluten in of itself is not the boogeyman. It is not something bad, especially if you don't have gut issues, and especially if you don't have celiac or gluten sensitivity. If you have sensitivity to gluten, ingest it, you feel bad, the best thing is just to avoid it and don't waste your time and money on getting allergy testing. And then if you have celiac disease, there's testing that we can do for that. Great. Angela, it's good seeing you again. Rolling Thunder, it's good seeing you. Thank you guys for watching. Perfect. All right. So, Rolling Thunder, to answer this question, what does it mean when my digestive system only works properly when I use prune senna? It just means that you just need some more fiber. That's basically it. So prunes are fantastic. Prunes can do one of two things. Number one is that they have a lot of fiber in them. They also have a lot of sorbitol, which is a very natural sugar to help bring things in. Not a problem whatsoever. If you need prunes to help you use the restroom, very safe, very effective, very natural option. So not a big deal whatsoever. Sean, it's great seeing you. Thank you for watching on the live video as well. All right. Question number 4, Dr. Islam, what is your thought on the paleo diet? All right. So the paleo diet used to be the big thing a couple of years ago. I had so many patients ask me, and we're on the paleo diet. I think the initial excitement about the paleo has kind of waned down some, though I do see the occasional books. I do see the occasional topic about the paleo diet going online. So I do see that being in there. So what is the review? What does the science say behind it? So if you are actually want to know what the paleo diet is, I have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel on this. But basically, in essence, what it is that if a caveman didn't need it, you should need it. So it really is an emphasis on a lot of meat, a lot of fruits, and try to eliminate processed grains and trying to eliminate dairy. And by doing that, you're hopefully getting back to what nature really had you before we had the invention of industrialized food and before we had the incorporation of more of these processed foods as well. So when it comes to the paleo diet, there's two things I really want to kind of emphasize. Number one, how does it work for weight loss? And then number two, how does it work for your gut health? Let's talk about the weight loss. So when it comes to the paleo diet, I am curious, what do you guys think that the paleo diet ranks in terms of how effective of a diet it is when it comes to weight loss? Well, it is ranked 31 out of 39. Say what? Yes, that is pretty bad. The paleo diet is not that great when it comes to weight loss. What about gut health? Well, I can tell you, as a GI doctor, I do not recommend a paleo diet when it comes to gut health. And there are a couple reasons why. Number one is that I never like to incorporate a diet that really eliminates a whole segment of foods. I would rather we try to increase the amount of foods that we're eating that are healthy as opposed to restricting a whole category of food. I feel like diets like the Paleo Diet and the Keto Diet really try to make one particular foods the villain, which can get people confused. It also can make it very hard for people to adhere. Number two is that we do know that the diet that our paleo-like diet is very high in meat. And we also know that a diet that's high in meat does increase the amount of inflammation going on inside your colon. There's very good evidence for that. The more meat that you have, the more bad bacteria grows inside your GI tract. It physically changes your gut microbiome. And we know that has a consequence with causing low-lying inflammation, higher risk for developing cancer, higher risk of developing colon issues, higher risk of developing constipation, on and on and on. And I don't want to put you on a diet that I know can cause harm for you long term. Number three is that it's very hard to maintain. There are very few people that can be on a paleo or a keto diet forever. It is such a pain to do. It's hard to go out, hard to go with friends because you're so restricted with your diet. And then lastly, the amount of weight that people lose is not sustainable. I have had so many patients lose a lot of weight initially on a paleo diet or even a keto diet, but they all of a sudden, over time, will regain that weight back. So the weight loss is not sustainable, and I don't want to put you on a diet that's not going to give you long-term weight loss as well. So in my opinion, I would not recommend a paleo diet. It doesn't help out with maintaining weight loss, and it doesn't help out with your gut health as well. All right. Sean, it's great seeing you. Thank you for watching. Michelle, it's good seeing you as well. Thank you for watching. Perfect. Thank you guys for watching. Awesome. All right. So, question number 5. Let me go through the comments really quick. All right, good. Perfect. So Taz, you have a good question here. I'm going to talk about this really quick. So Taz says, online people say to avoid gluten for 3 months when dealing with gastritis. Is this to be followed even if you don't have a gluten intolerance? So Taz, I'm going to tell you the answer to that question is no. There's nothing inherently wrong with gluten, nor is there any evidence that being on a gluten-free diet is going to help out with gastritis unless you have either celiac disease or gluten intolerance. Anybody who tells you otherwise, frankly, has no idea what they're talking about. They're full of it. I'm going to tell you, they are completely full of it. They have no idea what they're talking about. They have no idea what the data says, and they don't know what the research shows as well. They're just listening to somebody who told them something else, and they just assume that it's right. I am here to tell you what the data and the research says. So Taz, the answer is no. Great question on that. All right. Last question. Hey, Dr. Islam, how soon should you go when you feel the urge to go? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you need to go right then and there? Can you wait? What do you guys think? Well, as your poop guru, which is what I am, if you feel the urge to go, you should try and go as soon as you can. Now, I know there may be some impracticalities where you're driving in a car and you can't go right then and there. I don't want you to go then, or you're in an important meeting, but by and large, if you feel the urge to go, you should go right then and there. So the question is why? What's the big deal? Here's what happens when you feel the urge to go. Your body is revving up for the exit. You have stool in your bottom, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and that triggers you to feel the urge to go. And if you don't have that engine going, you're gonna go, or it's gonna stop working that engine. Now, here are the consequences with not using the restroom immediately. Number one is that your rectum physically will get bigger. What? Yes, it gets bigger. And as your rectum gets bigger, that means it's going to hold more stool, and it means it's going to make it more difficult for you to eventually release that stool, meaning this will lead to constipation. This is a very common reason why people have been constipated forever, is because when they were young, they held their stool in, and so because of that, that rectum got bigger, and then also your body your body knows that if it feels the urge, you're not going to go, so it doesn't let you feel the urge anymore until it's so big that you physically have to go. Number two is that keep in mind this can also cause hemorrhoid issues to occur. Whenever you hold it in and you're not going, that pressure increases in your bottom, cause more hemorrhoids, more rectum issues, more fissures, more pain, more bleeding, all sorts of problems in the bottom as well. So, summary, long story short, you feel the urge to go, you got to go. And if you can't go, try and go as soon as you can and try not to make that a habit. All right. Perfect. My, thank you for watching as well. Perfect. All right. All right, guys. Perfect. Well, I want to thank you for watching my live video. A couple things. Number one, if you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button. Like, share, and subscribe. Number two, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to a weekly newsletter where you can get great tips like I'm saying in today's video as well. If you want me to answer a video for you and you don't want to post it live, subscribe to my weekly newsletter. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Send me a message. I can answer those questions either live or on email, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I want to thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a happy and healthy day, and I hope you guys are doing great. Take care. Bye, everyone. Bye. Little poop emoji. Bye, 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 bye. Thanks, everyone. See you guys next week, okay? Take care.